Hi everyone, delonewolf here, and welcome back for some more EVE Online. In today's video I'm back in the old stomping grounds. I'm actually exploring in the Jackdaw a little bit, right around the region of Dital. I'm back here again for my BPCs. This is something that I do now on around a 10-day routine because, you know, in an NPC station that's how long it takes for me to create like Orca BPCs and things like that. And of course I'm also then here for a little bit of PI maintenance, getting some stuff off the planets, managing the planets so that they don't fill up completely. And whenever I'm here I also take the opportunity to go back out here and do a little bit of exploration in Sansha space. Now my Gila and my Ishtar are where my Orca is at, and so my next favorite ship I would say is this one here, the Odo Jackdaw. It's really cool, especially in something like this 3 out of 10. So let's start approaching. Well, do I want to approach the gate or do I want to approach like that? No, it's not the agent. So let's also start repping. I do need to have that active rep, but here we go. I'm just going to activate all of my launchers. Oops, and I also activated my probes instead of my my launchers. Oh, and that does mean that I also have to do a quick analyze to be able to pull them back. Let's do that. But yeah, this one has auto-targeting missiles which just go after the closest target. It's really very nice. So what we're actually looking for was this guy here, the Black Ops squad leader. Potentially he has some drops. So there she blows. Let's go and pick up that loot while the rest is being taken down. And oh, there's actually, is that a new signature? Yeah, I should try to do that in the meantime as well. So this is just as passive basically as letting your drones do the work. So that's always very nice when you're exploring. It allows me to do things at the same time. And you can see here on the right side, unfortunately nothing of consequence. Let's do an orbit at 500 to get a little bit of movement, and now we just have like half a dozen more targets to go, and let's see what this is all about. In the meantime, some of the changes around Dital, well, I'll be honest, with the fall of my structures there, it has become a lot more quiet. I do feel like whenever I jump in here and do a little round, I tend to be more successful than when I was actually living here. I think competition has dropped down at least a little bit with those changes, with the influence also that Providence holders are now having on the high-sec regions here. So there's still a couple of sentry guns, but you don't have to do them. So we are actually going to jump into the next room, where we have some more good targets. My missiles are still going and they still want to go after that sentry gun, and then let's see if we can get some nice loot over there as well. For room number 2, take it a little bit slow. Honestly, if you get into the thick of things, all of these destroyers together do mean a lot of damage, but the loot commander is actually pretty easy to spot here. Then you just have the sounds, so something is targeting me. I can just start activating all of my launchers again, and now it's going to go after everything, which is so cool. Look at that, it's just going to start blapping all of these destroyers, and I accidentally repressed my number 6 again for my probes. Yeah, it's actually been a while since I've flown the ship, so I need to get used to it once again. Let's do a quick analyze so that my probes are away from the ship, and then we'll call them back so that we don't have to make that mistake yet another time. So let's pull them back in here, close the map, and then we have the commander who is now closest to me. So he should then get destroyed like that by my missiles, and we can take that loot without too much trouble. And by the time we get to this point, about half the room has already been cleared, so we can speed it up and try to be lucky with the loot pinata. Of course, we'll keep going for just a little bit, see if there's any more that we can spot here, but just look at how cool this is. It's also a destroyer, a little bit smaller than everything else, so faster on the warps, a little bit faster just in general. It does mean that this is a great ship, and actually a great budget ship for an Omega, I would say. to do combat exploration in. And now here you can also maybe see that at the end here. It's a drop, but it's nothing special, right? When you get too close, you can get into trouble, but you have all of these extra options, like a defense mode. So let's quickly do that as well. So we're gonna transform into defensive mode like this, and then look at that. Get wrapped, you can tank so much more. So this basically has many ways to get out of trouble as well, if you need to. But that was this 3 out of 10, very quick and very easy in this ship. I tend to just go back to sharpshooter mode after that. Then we do a reload all, and basically we're ready for the next room. In sharpshooter mode, right, you start right away with your optimal DPS. They have amazing range, I think, these optimals. Yeah, 70 kilometers flight range for this auto-targeting missile. So even in a harder room, you can definitely take your time a little bit, fly around the edge of the arena, you could say, and just let your ship do the work. Let's jump into the next system. Quick note though, 27 people in Dira, so this is now probably the busiest system around here because of the ice spawning that can happen here. And then if I remember correctly from Neil, I would always take the lower Debil. The lower Debil system, which is one of the systems, you know, that's the reason why I come back here. Here is my lower Debil Camel Tech factory. You can see I've got stuff in here, including quite a few blueprints. And so this is the place where my stuff is at and where I create those blueprint copies. And then I bring them out to Amar and Minmatar space at the moment. And potentially also to Dodixie if sales are not going well. But so far, this is like the 3rd week that I've done this. And I'm back to selling, like, I think it was 16 contracts that I could open up in Amar itself. So I think on a 20-day rotation, basically, that it will work, and so I can probably seed both Amar and Rens Orhek or something like that for these BPCs, opening up a little bit more for sell opportunities. In Minmatar space, so far I again have to look at how quickly stuff moves there. Felt a little bit slower as well, but again, if you have 20-day intervals, you generally have plenty of time to manage all your contracts being sold. So these are definitely two rather large signatures as well. So let's see if we can spot something good. And here also 23 people in lower Debil as well. That's actually quite a lot. Now it has that research station, so if you want to do research in industry, then that's definitely a good reason to be around here. But this is actually more than what I'm used to from back in the days when I was living from Dital in all of these structures. So there's a combat site that does look promising. Let's see what it is. And it's just a Sasha lookout, unfortunately. Let's see what this stuff is. And then perhaps something that I should mention here as well, what I'm currently then thinking about is really trying to create the fastest ship possible to go from my Orca to this place rather than using the jump clones. And the reason for that is that I could potentially use that to move the exploration loot around, because I have found that if I, for instance, move the Angel Cartel stuff that I find in Minmatar space out into Galente space or here into Amar space, that we then have far better and faster sales as well. So it could be worth it to plan this 10-day round trip so that I can grab my BPCs, but also bring my my exploration loot, my valuable exploration loot out here, where, well, that stuff just doesn't drop. And so these differences in markets could actually be pretty damn cool. Something else that we just find here is a haunted yard, so we'll do that one as well. A drone site, not that great, but the Sentient one can of course drop that let's go, that chip. So let's get in here. Some more auto Jackdaw action. I love that. This is also, yeah, this is an amazing ship. I mean, add 5 small drones or something like that, it would be absolutely OP, but it would become the perfect small destroyer. Fortunately, we're bouncing on the gate, so let's see if I can get off that gate like that, and now we should be able to align and get out there. But yeah, this is also definitely an amazing platform for anyone that loves to do some high-sec exploration. It'll probably handle pretty much any of these sites once you do this, right? Put up a nice booster that's able to run just continuously. So let's head towards these leaking casks, full speed ahead. This is also a faction one, so we get good speed. We're being yellow boxed. Now if I click, you can see it doesn't do anything. So you do have to wait for that first red box and for that first, there it is, that audio signal that you can go. Then you just press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and my missiles are starting to go after these targets. It's always the closest one. That's the logic that these auto-targeting missiles work by. And so these drones, they try to get close, right? It actually gives a nice sense of speed from this view, but then the missiles are just, they won't stop, and it's gonna take all of these guys down. That one just blew up, very good. That one is actually already on an orbit. Blap, he's gone. And we are almost at the first leaking cask here, 20 kilometers out, so let's go. While the rest of them, man, it's even, so far, these drones are having a little bit of trouble keeping up with this Jackdaw from the looks of it, so that's pretty damn good. And I don't have to do anything. Oh, pulverize the pioneers, so we already have an escalation on this as well. I didn't see the Sentient just yet. I don't think that has spawned. Let's loot these containers. An unfortunate bounce. Still some decimators. Loot. Next cask, come on. Loot. Loot, so that is done. Then we start moving back, and this is the beauty. Look at that, 70-kilometer range. These guys are spawning 50 kilometers out, and still my missiles just keep going. There's not a lot of ships that are this passive in this site, and especially at such ranges, so it definitely has its place. It's a pretty damn cool ship. And then something that I should do here, of course, is actually give it a manual move order to head towards that spawn for the Sentient, which should still come. So this is Alvi, 2 renders and a splinter. That should still not be a problem. Those guys spawned now 30 kilometers out. We're still flying full speed ahead. They're not even doing any damage anymore. They're just fully one-sided, being owned by these tracking missiles. And here we go now, 20 kilometers out. We actually have a Sentient render as well. So let's go after this guy. The rest are a bit closer, so we gotta take them out first. But as we approach, we are eventually gonna switch automatically, normally. Barracuda down. Another one that's still closer. Let's go intercept that Sentient drone so that we can grab his loot. It's actually gonna work out that we tackle everything else. Look at that, cornering below. Blap, a few more missiles. And he is down. Let's go take a look at that. And pretty much as good a timing as you want, right? Speed straight for the casks. Grab those, speed straight back towards the Sentient, get that loot as well. So unfortunately, we don't have anything too good in this one either, which means that I still have to go from lower to upper normally, or yep, there it is. Want to take a quick look at the numbers there as well, but yeah, a little bit of something that I honestly am probably going to do from time to time as well on that 10-day rotation for this stuff. I can actually show it to you guys here as well for my industry, so you can see 7-8 days basically for all of these transport ships, and then actually making a revelation one as well. This one probably for Minmatar Space specifically, 30 million ISK was the lowest contract in rents for a revelation BPC. So there's definitely some money to be made with those as well. And this is a little bit more what I'm used to. We have upper table, no stations, completely empty, and a good chance for us to find some more good stuff. Let's see what we find here, and if we can still run something else. Otherwise, I'll keep going on my own on this one. But yeah, 15 minutes, 2 good sites. I would say that is not that bad. And well, we'll start with those that are at pretty much the right height. Unfortunately, really good performance here for that initial scan, so they may not be that great. This is a combat site though. Let's see what it is. Oh, and basic space pilot is coming in as well. Drone assembly, that's not very interesting, and yeah, having that kind of a result for the other two here, I don't think they'll be any good, but we'll check. Alright, it is another combat site, but again, you look at that, we're going into the yellow already with this kind of a deviation, so maybe another drone assembly, something like a hideout or something like that is the most likely. Desolate sites, yeah, one of those tiny ones, and then I think it was down here, yeah. We have a final signature, which also gave us like 25-30% from the initial scan on the center, so it probably won't be anything special. It's alright, it's another combat site, but yeah, again, yellow without even seeing the site itself. That's not very promising. Let's see what we can spot. Oh, and some more people coming in, alright. Sanchez command relay. Alright, go, go, go. Let's see if we can be first, because in the meantime we do have 2 other people in system. I'm actually gonna put on the directional scan. Alright, Macariel and Heron. Yeah, 2 other players in local. Definitely not competition for the Auto Jackdaw or for that high-sec combat-focused exploration that I'm doing at the moment. And so this is actually a pretty amazing result. We're talking 6 systems that I've checked here so far. Basically started in Detal, and this is already the 3rd nice combat site that I am finding. So okay, very interesting. This switching from to different spaces from time to time does seem to be potentially an interesting tactic to try and indeed find some places that are a little bit more quiet, and you know, give this a little bit of time for you to find good stuff. So next room here, let's go. I'm gonna look for that commander again. So now I'm basically looking at this logo. There it is. That one, we're gonna press approach. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are of course slowly learning to refly this Auto Jackdaw again. And I kind of want to keep it slow so that he tends to be the fastest. He comes closest to me decently quickly. That means that I've got plenty of time to grab the loot while the missiles go after the rest. There we go. He's being targeted right now. So again, I don't have any active targets. My missiles are just doing all the work. That's such a cool concept. I do love that. So there we go. Overseer Wreck. Now I can speed it up a little bit. And you can see we're gonna go after almost all of the other ships before going after the sentry guns. So full speed on. Blop, blop, blop. There we go. 1 volley. He's gone. I can probably cut this now. Next one. And yeah, this is perfect. So we're gonna go like this. Oh, it was perfect until for some reason that sentry gun got up to these guys. Okay, well, what I'm gonna do then actually, I'm going to now try to manually fly away from these 2 turrets a little bit. Maybe even speed it up. because this is what we don't want, right? We don't want these missiles to be going after these sentry guns. And there we go, this one got closer, so he just got blapped. Or maybe just an approach order would be the best way to go with keeping the Afterburner on. They're gonna always be super close to this gate anyway, and so that may actually be the right tactic. All right, something that I just kind of learned here, that if you want that efficiency and you don't want to go after these sentry guns, this is basically what you want to do. Keep your Afterburner running and do that little bit of manual flying at the end there. Go for those rats that are the furthest away. And normally this way it should just be easy for you to optimize the uptime for your missiles on the rats and not on these turrets that you don't have to destroy basically to go to the next room. And here is that next room with a Centus Black Ops commander. So again, slow boat towards the target. You hear the sound, so you can activate your 5 launchers and just let them blab a couple of these destroyers here first. There's the commander. And while the fleet around him is just being peppered, he comes in at full speed. He wants to go, but that just means that he'll be my target soon. We're still going after something else first. Now here we go. And he's gonna take all of these volleys. Blop, blop. Love the shields for the Sand Shadow. That's pretty cool. But eventually we break through. And he is down. That means that we can take this next. Activate Afterburner. And again, super easy, super smooth. Really not a lot of danger for the tank. I will say one other thing here. If you're taking this puppy in a vigil, that's hard. That's very hard for this one, because you basically have to be in defense mode, so that takes a little bit of doing. And the second room in the 4 out of 10, where you don't want to use the auto-targeting missiles, basically. There you want to take Tech 2, go high damage, as high damage as possible, and just go straight for that rat. Get yourself into the defensive mode so that you can tank everything while you grab the loot, and then you know, warp out as quickly as you can, a little bit like this. But another successful side faction piece. Nothing too good. I don't think it's worth it to move that one to a Mars space, more looking like rappers and things like that, that actually have like 50, 60 and more million, where it really makes a difference. But very, very good experience, I would say, for me here personally. I'm finding a lot of sites, a lot less competition in and around Dital, so it's good to have this base of operations now. And these BPCs are bringing me back here about every 10 days, which will hopefully get me some more successful exploration as well. That's gonna be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time.